Hello, Actives, and welcome to the October Founders Call. I'm joined here with David Brown. I'm Ryan Thompson, for those of you who don't know us. And welcome, David. How are you doing today?
Great, Ryan. It's a beautiful day. Welcome, everybody. It's great to talk with everybody. The time just seems to be flying by. It's hard to believe it's October already.
It is. It's brisk. The air is crisp. At least here in Northern California, it's starting to change, and it's one of my favorite times of year. So it's exciting. It's exciting to see what is happening in Actives as well, with all the exciting growth that we had in September and what's transpiring right now during October. So for those of you who are joining or listening to this for the first time, welcome. We do this Founders broadcast on the 15th of each and every month. We like to talk a little bit about the highlights from the previous month and just give you a glimpse of what we have in store coming down the pipeline and coming down the road. So if you are new to Actives, we want to give you a cordial welcome to the company. And for all of you seasoned vets, it's great to see you again here. So David, let's go ahead and jump into this. Talk to us a little bit about some of your highlights, some of the things that you we're excited to see happen during this past month in September.
Well, it might sound kind of like a broken record, but once again, we set records for revenue, for rank advancements, for the number of products that people are now using, and the number of people that we have benefiting from the Actives products, as well as the business opportunities. So that's the type of story that never gets tiring to me. I love telling people about our growth, the fact that we've more than doubled the size of the company in the last 6 months, and that we are finally really starting to achieve. I wouldn't say we're in full-blown momentum, but we're starting to get there, and the wheels are really turning and moving quickly.
Right. Absolutely. Hearing you say that, David, I think about a lot of the Zoom calls that I've been on the past month, and it is interesting. I like to point this out to people that sometimes momentum creeps up on you, and you don't realize that you're in it until you're looking in your rearview mirror at what you just went through. And truly, when you're growing 20 to 30% a month, you're doubling the size of your company every call it 4 months, every 3 to 4 to 5 months. And we're starting to get that, really get that stride right now, and seeing a 20 to 30% overall growth in the company month after month. And I will say, and we've said this before, and I also feel like a bit of a broken record, but to do that during this quarantine, and I say quarantine because I think that's probably what's affected us the most during this pandemic, is really the quarantining that's been going on, and people's inability to go out and work and see people they know. But to grow during this period, it really is a testament to the commitment of all of these pioneering founding distributors that we have with us here in Active. So that really stands out to me, in September. David, I also wanted to point out, just talking with you briefly before this founders call, I want everyone to know something that's watching this right now. In September, we had a ton of new rank advancements, high-level rank advancements. In fact, we had exactly 30. I just counted minutes ago. We had 30 people reach the ranks of A6 through A11 during the month of September.
That's
now,
awesome.
It really is incredible, and I wanted to just point out one of the people who hit A11 is a doctor who lives in Lima, Peru. Her name is Tanya Valderrama, and we've had her on several medical symposiums that we've done, Activate Your Health presentations Thursday evenings, and she is incredibly busy. Her sister, who's also a doctor, who lives out in Cusco, Peru, also hit, what did she hit, A8 or A9 2 months ago? And Dr. Tanya Valderrama hit A11 just this past month. And whenever we see her and we call her to congratulate her, or she's on a Zoom with us, she always steps out. She's wearing her medical outfit, her scrubs. She's got, she's double masked, a mask here, and she's got the shield over her face. And she comes out and she talks to us, and she's just so excited because of what she sees happening with our products. Specifically as she is talking to lots and meeting with lots of patients. Now, she's not, making false medical claims, but she is really enlisting the full arsenal of products to try and improve people's wellness. And so for her to reach a rank that's ranked, this A11 in our company is just, it's outstanding. And I just wanted to just point that out, that sometimes I think we all have a tendency to kind of make excuses, and we handicap ourselves a little bit. We say, well, I think I'd do that if these conditions were different in my life, if I had more time, right? If people supported me more, or if I could just push through this fear. But if you're looking for inspiration, we don't have to look very far in ACTIVZ. We're surrounded by people who inspire me every single day, and I have the bad habit or the tendency to start naming names, and I don't want to start that because I know I'll leave somebody out. So I'll just talk about Dr. Tanya Valderrama today as someone who has truly used some of these challenges as stepping stones versus stumbling blocks. She doesn't make excuses, she finds solutions. She's committed to really helping as many people as possible through ACTIVZ and through these cutting edge, technologically validated products that we have. And she also wants to make a real difference and impact on her local, on her individual economy. It's not that practicing medicine is not a great profession. It is a great profession. But I know personally, just from speaking with her, that she's looking for more freedom and more time freedom in her life. And she's well on the path to achieving that. So I want to share all that with you, because sometimes we look for inspiring stories on YouTube or online. And really, for me, the inspiring stories are right here in ACTIVZ. So I want to just recognize and point out that great achievement from Dr. Tanya Valderrama from Lima, Peru, as well as everybody else who hit an important rank during the month of September. David, I know that there's a couple people that stand out to you as well, who really achieved some great things in September. Why don't you share that with everybody?
Well, sometimes I have to pinch myself, Ryan. I won't do it right now because I don't want everybody to see the grimace of pain on my face. But I really do have to think that there you are in Sacramento. I'm here in Salt Lake City. You're talking about Dr. Valderrama in Lima, Peru. And I'm about to talk about Ogino-san in the Tokyo area of Japan, who went from A3 to A8 in 1 month. Now, the Japanese have had a hard time really adapting to the restrictions placed upon them via COVID. They are very compartmentalized by nature. You do your work stuff at work and you do your home stuff at home, and never the two shall cross. And it's been difficult for them. But you know what? They finally broke out. And I think largely because they've also been inspired, even though many of them don't speak English, let alone Spanish. But that doesn't mean that they don't keep track of what's being posted, and then they go back and they will translate it via Google Translate or other vehicles, and they get excited hearing these stories about people in Mexico, people in Peru, people in the United States, and it's really starting to have a great effect upon them because, as you know, the biggest motivating factor in any of our lives to accomplish anything is just belief. If we just have that little kernel, that little seed of belief, we feed it and we have a little bit of success. It doesn't have to be this monumental thing overnight. Dr. Valderrama didn't become an A11 overnight. And by the way, if anybody says they're too busy to do this, I would point to her because she's about as busy as they come. But isn't it interesting what belief coupled with commitment and some energy can really accomplish? And that's happening really throughout the world in the various markets that we're in. And it's really exciting. I'll just let people know that I was on a conversation today with a very well-known doctor and researcher, head of National Jewish Hospital in Denver. He's worked with us at other companies and is actually at the forefront of a lot of COVID research right now, which I wasn't aware of. And he was talking about the use of masks and social distancing and things like that. By the way, I hate the term social distancing, and I'm really glad that people are practicing physical distancing, but socially they're getting closer than ever with people. And that's what's happening. That's really what's resulting in a lot of our growth. But he said this, he said, David, people think you just get one virus and you're going to get sick. He said, it actually takes probably about 100 million COVID-19 viruses to make you really sick. So if you can block some of them by somebody else wearing a mask, block a few more by you wearing a mask, and block a few more by staying, 6 feet apart from somebody. That's all going to decrease what he called the dose. Isn't it interesting? We don't really think of a dose of a virus as being a dose, but the amount
Right.
that we consume. And it got me to thinking, remember what NRF2 does. We know that NRF2 blocks this protease that's necessary for the virus to attach itself to our cells. And we may not block all of them, but if we can reduce, and if we can block many of them, even as we're wearing masks and doing anything, and it's just one more tool in our arsenal for us to hopefully stay to not contract it in the first place. But then if we lower the number of viruses that we're being exposed to, then even if we contract it, he mentioned that we'll recover. People that have a large dose have more symptoms and more seriousness. People that have smaller doses correspondingly tend to do a lot better. And it's just amazing to me that here we are utilizing technology to spread the word about ACTIVZ and the opportunity. And then we're utilizing other technology that goes hand in hand with what people really need right now in their lives. And it's actually really incredible what we're all part of right now.
I agree. It's exciting to hear you talk about that and that discussion that you had with that scientist. I know who you're talking about, and I look forward to hearing more. Frankly, this is a time when I think everybody is waking up to the importance of science and scientific validation. I think the world has kind of been thrown into the deep end of the pool, as it were, with both feet, and so it is exciting to listen to that, and it's exciting to really know that we are at the forefront of that and that we're making a difference. And I want everybody who's watching this Zoom to know that if you've spoken or shared this with one person, or maybe your family is using our products, or maybe you've shared it with 100 people, or maybe you have 2,000 people in your sales organization, you're making a difference. You're making a big difference. I think a lot about, David, the topic, I'm gonna call it a topic of heroism, and this, we tend to engage in hero worship sometimes. And as a young kid, I'm sure I wasn't much different than you. We love our superheroes, and those are kind of our early role models in our lives, are the Batmans and Supermans and Spider-Mans. And in my case, it was Wolverine. If you couldn't tell, you guessed by my beard. But we're surrounded by heroes at ACTIVZ, and during this time of, I don't like saying crisis. I think there's way too much fear mongering going on, frankly. But there are heroes. There's a lot of heroes, and like I said, there's people who inspire me. I talked about the doctor you shared, the new A8 in Japan, which is incredible. But there are people like Aaron Kosmitz, who he doesn't wait to ask. He doesn't wait for anybody to give him instructions or give him a green light to do anything. He's got right now that what he just launched, and I'm just looking at my phone here. I don't want to botch the name, but the Buddy Watch Walk. He sent me a text just a couple of days ago about this, and we've been talking on the phone with him, where he's really making a difference in the lives of veterans here in the United States. And man, both you and I and our entire corporate team, we're all aware of what Aaron is doing for the vets, for people who have sacrificed a lot for us, for our freedoms. And people like Aaron, he's a hero. So he may not be an A16 yet, but he's someone who inspires me. And so not only are we making a difference in people's wellness, but really their emotional, their intellectual, I think their spiritual health as well, here at ACTIVZ. And that's what you get when you work with people, and when people is your primary, asset, as it were. David, we've got something important to announce on the Zoom. So I'm going to just let the cat out of the bag, if it's okay. For everybody listening, mark your calendars. We have not set out any official communications yet. They'll be going out this week. Today's the 15th. So they'll probably be hitting this week. But the 21st of November, we will be headed to the ABC studios, the Salt Lake affiliate in Salt Lake City. We will be doing a live broadcast in English beginning at 9 o'clock in the morning Mountain Time that will run 3 hours until noon, and will resume at 1 p.m. Mountain Time until 4 p.m. In Spanish. So mark your calendars, English speakers and Spanish speakers, on that day. And we're going to be revealing kind of the next phase of our company, what we have coming down the pipeline. We have some deliverables that we're really excited to launch on that day and to share with you a little bit more of the vision as it unfolds here at Active. So David, I know that you and I have been spending quite a bit of time talking about this, the significance, the relevance of these types of events, but why should people attend?
Well, they should attend for a lot of reasons. One of which is just to get more information and to find out more about the products that they're talking about, to glean some pearls of wisdom, if as it were, about from not just from us, in fact, not even mainly from us, but from distributor leaders who will be participating, from scientists who will be participating, and learning more about how to build their business. But I think actually even more than information, it's a way for us to gather together and remind ourselves of this large, increasingly worldwide family that we're part of, that even though we can't all gather together in a big, huge auditorium or a hotel like we will one day, we'll resume those when it's okay to do that again. And I look forward to that, to being able to give people actual fist bumps and elbow bumps and hugs and all those type of things. But this gives us an opportunity to do that via well, it's not Zoom necessarily, but it's a streaming technology,
Yeah.
And to be connected, and being connected and being part of something bigger than ourselves can't help but be inspiring. I mean, this week we'll have a smaller taste of that, and I invite everyone at 7 o'clock this coming Friday to tune in via Zoom to our medical forum in English. Dr. Joe Maroon, Jeff Boast, and Dr. Larry Martin are all going to be presenting there. That's going to be a nice appetizer. Another appetizer is going to take place on Saturday, which is our first active school. And I view those all as being really, actually, you know how you sometimes go to a restaurant and the appetizers look really great, and the appetizers are so filling that by the time the main course comes along, you're like, whoa, I'm already stuffed. So to call these appetizers is kind of doing them injustice, because you'll feel pretty full. But the good news is, you're going to be hungry again by the time November 21st rolls around for all of that. It's going to be a great pre-Thanksgiving feast of information and coming together as an ACTIVZ family. And I can't wait. It's going to be really exciting.
Right. Absolutely. Well, so mark your calendars, everybody. Make sure that you plan on attending, first of all, our first ever active school, virtual active school, taking place this coming Saturday, and then the 21st of November for our global live broadcast. I'm excited to go back to ABC Studios. It's always kind of fun. I'm definitely out of my element and a little bit uncomfortable there, but they do a great job working with us. And, it's great to have Richard Jones as a member of our advisory board, who's the general manager there. And he makes that available to us. So thank you, Richard Jones, in advance. David, I think that's about it for me. I feel like we have successfully gone through another founders call. I don't know how many people watching this have noticed, but I'm numb on one side of my face. I just recently came out of the dentist. So aside from mixing a few metaphors, I think that my lisp is not quite as strong as it normally is, but I feel like this has been a successful founders call. I really wish everybody the very best this month. Close hard. We obviously are running a promotion where we've put, as one might say, a lot on the Barbie, right, for all of you to take advantage of. Pay attention to the momentum, pay attention to the growth of everybody around you. Make sure that you're not missing that boat. Share with people the benefits, the features and benefits of our products. And for those of you who have never tried some of our other products, say Amora as an example, this is a great time to be able to try it for free, right? By simply fulfilling another order. That's part of the reason why we want to do this. We want you to over time to really have a diversified income stream from a variety of different products. So to help you do that, we run promotions like the one we are now. So make sure you take advantage of that. It's going to be expiring soon, and I don't want it to be in a situation of saying woulda, coulda, shoulda. So make sure you take advantage of the promotion right now. And my final thoughts, David, before I give you the final word here, is just thinking about Aaron Cosmas and his whole team, frankly, that's engaged in the Buddy Watch Walk right now with Nerf 2 veterans. but all the people who rank advanced this last month. There are a lot of pundits out there today and experts and people that are pointing out what's wrong with the world that we live in. And I feel like most people are failing to see that, we've got to just look in the mirror, right? Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change that you wish to see in the world. And I can't think of anything more profound than that today, right? It's not about going and, trying to systematically pull down and change our environments. We have an opportunity to make a difference in our own lives, and that's where it starts. And as we do that, we can better impact the lives of other people. So in the immortal words of Mahatma Gandhi, let's all be the change that we'd like to see in the world. And David, I'm going to give you the last word.
Well, I hope you didn't do that just because I'm increasingly looking like Mahatma Gandhi as I get older, but that is
you and I both. You and I both.
And what Aaron's doing is amazing. He also texted me pictures today of the buddy walk, and what's interesting about that, and I'll just I'll call out Aaron as well as Gil and others. Through Aaron, he's utilizing his own circle of influence. He didn't have to go clear across the country, let alone clear across the world, to find people that he could introduce the products to and an opportunity. They're just people he knows, and people that he knows will be affected by it. And that has a ripple effect. Through Gil in New York, part of his circle of influence are professional racquetball players. I've never known any racquetball players, but now I do. And right. Some of them live in the U.S., some of them live in Mexico. We were introduced to a young man who's like the third or fifth ranked racquetball player in the world, and he's a young man in Mexico, and it's just, those are the type of things that are so fascinating about the type of effort that we're engaged in. We don't necessarily have to have any particular background. We don't have to have a lot of money. We don't have to have any particular level of expertise. All we have to do is show a little bit of action, because what you mentioned earlier, Ryan, is really significant. By virtue of this promotion and other things that we do, every day we are racking our brains as to how can we make it easier for people to take our products? How can we make it easier for them to make money and really succeed? But no matter what we do, no matter how many hours a day, and I know you burn the candle on both ends, morning, noon, and night with Zoom calls all over the world, and many of our team do. But at the end of the day, it's going to be dependent upon individual action. And if you show that individual action, doing your best is always good enough. And we can just promise people that as they plug in and, as you say, lock arms, that they're going to make progress. It might not always be as fast as they'd like, but you know what? Time's going to go by one way or another. And we're either going to be getting closer to our goals or not. So take one step today, 2 steps tomorrow, 3 steps the next, and pretty soon we'll find that goal is staring us right in the face, just ready for us to grab onto it. And I'm excited about October. I'm excited about the rest of the year. And those are the type of things a lot of people aren't saying. A lot of people aren't talking about how excited they are about what's going on in their lives. And that's really something that is a blessing in all of our lives. So thanks to everyone. Ryan, awesome to be with you. I love being on these founders calls, and it's great being partners with you in a great effort and initiative. And I think that the best is still before us. Absolutely. Thank you, David. We'll see you all next month on the 15th of November for our next founders call. Actually, scratch that. We'll see you on the 21st at our live broadcast from ABC Studios. Thank you, David. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.